Props and Locks on Fox 10 is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Hey there, welcome into Props and Locks, presented by FanDuel. I'm Sierra Santos. We are honing in on college hoops this week. It's our main focus. So let's go ahead and welcome in Ben Stevens, host of the Morning After on Sports Grid. And Ben, we are diving deep into the conference tournaments. How excited are you for this?
I am so excited, Sierra. This is March. It's the most glorious month of the calendar year. Everything from now until the end of early April is that much more meaningful, is that much more impactful. This is what we live for in college basketball. It's the best time of year.
The tourneys get underway this week, at least for the individual conferences. So we're going to start with the ACC tournament, and Duke is the overwhelming favorite at -130. When you see these lines at where they're at, how much do you just stay away from the ACC?
You do, because there's no reason to make a bet on Duke at -130 to win a tournament. Any tournament, whether it be a conference or the NCAA tournament, when it all comes down to it, is a random event where on any given night you need to be playing your best to cash a 3 or 4 game parlay. That's what it takes to win a tournament. So at -130, you stay away, but it shows, Sierra, a clear distinction between Duke and the rest of the ACC this year. Generally a perennial powerhouse in college basketball, this year not as good as a league overall.
Okay, a little bit more of a competitive landscape in the Big East. You look at Villanova, they're at +170, Connecticut +350, Providence +500, and Marquette +550. Who do you love here?
The lack of respect for the Providence Friars and Ed Cooley, Sierra, continues. We are fired up at all times. At 5-1 to come to the Garden after winning the first ever Big East regular season title in program history, that is good value on Providence, a team that can win close games. Some may call it luck, Sierra. I call it good basketball. Providence, one of the best underdogs in the country this year. 7-1, 8-1 even now against the number, winning outright in 7 of those 8. Providence is for real, and if they're going to continue to give you value at +500, you take it.
Well, Ben, that passion has me fired up. But for those viewers out there who aren't familiar with your nickname, Big Ten Ben, first of all, tell us how you got it.
So Big Ten Ben comes from the idea that I used to host 2 podcasts around the Big Ten Conference. As you can see, these flags right here, that's all 14 Big Ten universities within that glorious and illustrious league. So that is where Big Ten Ben comes from, and it's just kind of catchy to say.
And Pac-12 Sierra really doesn't work. So why should your money, though, be on any other program in this conference tournament, not named Purdue?
Well, I think Iowa right now is actually playing the best basketball of any team in the Big Ten Conference. And in a conference that has not won a national championship in men's hoops in over 2 decades, Iowa might have the best shot of making a deep run in the month of March, both in the Big Dance and in the Big Ten tournament. The Iowa Hawkeyes have won 5 straight games. They've won 8 of their last 9, and each of those 8 victories, Sierra, have come by double digits. The defense is playing better than we have seen in maybe the past half decade in Iowa City for Fran McCaffrey. I love Iowa, and that price of +460 is very enticing.
You pledge your case, and I'm believing it. All right, I said a deep dive, and this is on the deep end for sure. Conference USA. UAB the favorite at +170. Western Kentucky has the longest odds at +950. This isn't something that I would typically watch, but you know, if I threw a couple $100 on it, maybe so.
And you can start your handicapping from the idea of looking within any league and seeing which of these teams perform the best against the number this year to start to facilitate where you place your money. This is not the astute handicapping that you rely on your betting bestie for, but the North Texas Mean Green is always a great place to start at +185. I like that price in CUSA.
Yo, you finally embraced it. My nickname for you, Betting Bestie. He is Ben Stevens. I love it too. March is here, and we are here for the madness. Coming up, we preview Final Four odds for the NCAA tournament and who will win it all. We're back in just a few.
Welcome back to Props and Locks, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook.
We are back on Props and Locks, and this month we're going to have more than one shining moment. The NCAA tournament odds have been out, but that doesn't mean that they've necessarily been the same. Let's bring Ben back into the mix to set the table. And the Final Four odds, it's pretty much stayed consistent. Gonzaga minus 115, Arizona plus 155, Auburn plus 280, and Duke at plus 270.
Dara, I'm not saying that Gonzaga is not deserving of a minus money price to reach the Final Four, but the fact they are favored to make the Final Four is absolutely bonkers. Arizona, the second best price at plus 155. I love what Tommy Lloyd and the Wildcats are doing in year number 1 of his tenure. But pay attention to the Big Cats at plus 280 and Auburn. And then are we having the Duke discussion? Are we ready for the narrative that the Blue Devils might send Coach K into retirement with a national title or at least a plus 270 cash ticket for a Final Four appearance? Duke is certainly trending that way. Winners of 7 straight entering this final weekend.
It's something I would like to see. Don't know that I'd put my money on it, but the favorite to win it all, Gonzaga plus 370, Arizona looking at this plus 600, Auburn plus 1400, Baylor plus 1,000. Is there any long shot that you love?
Ooh, there are a bunch of long shots that I love. Earlier this week, Wisconsin, the number 10 team in the country, a win shy of clinching the Big Ten title, which they did on their own home floor in Madison, was 100-1 to win the national championship. Now their odds have already been cut in half, 50-1. The 10th ranked team in the country at 100-1 on the final day of February. That was ludicrous value on the Wisconsin Badgers. But keep an eye not on a team on this page, but the Arkansas Razorbacks. They've won 14 of their last 15, and they are playing some fantastic basketball. I believe their price is now somewhere in the 40-1 range. Definitely a team to keep an eye on.
Okay, so despite the Wildcats with the second best odds to win the tournament, the Pac-12 is listed at plus 550 as the conference to win the championship, but I would imagine that has a lot more to do with the number of schools that will get a ticket to the big dance. The more teams, the better odds, right, Ben?
Absolutely so. Arizona and UCLA, 2 of the 12 best odds to win the national championship. Thus, that is the value on the Pac-12. The SEC is the favorite on this board, not just because of Arkansas, who I mentioned, but certainly Kentucky and Auburn in that fold, as well as LSU, Tennessee, teams to keep an eye on as well. The Big 12 is the interesting one to me. You have Baylor, who has some of the best odds in the country in the reigning national champion. The Kansas Jayhawks, who can certainly be a part of this fold. And then I would add in the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who defend as well as anybody in the country. The value's on the Big 12 at plus 390.
All right, the best part of the show is yet to come because they're Ben's best bets of the week, and we're not going to give away everything in the beginning. Stick with us. We're back after a quick timeout.
Welcome back to Props and Locks, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Thanks for staying up late with us on Props and Locks, and we are the reason that you're going to hit your snooze button on your alarm clock tomorrow morning. But they're Ben's best bets of the week, and we saved them for the last. So what you got for us this week, Ben? I know it's something juicy.
Sierra, I think we're looking at the bubble here and some teams that might present you some plus money value as we enter the final weekend of the regular season for the high major conferences in college basketball. But it's mid-major conference tournament time, and out in Las Vegas, BYU at plus 225. They really need to perform well in the WCC conference tournament to have any shot. Notice Florida plus 260. Florida hosts Kentucky on Saturday. If Florida can beat the Wildcats at home, that will become a minus money price. In Indiana, time is a flat circle, Sierra, because Indiana had an opportunity against Rutgers in the midweek to win a game at home. They were 11-4 as a home favorite against the number entering the game. They just needed to beat Rutgers as a 5-point favorite inside Assembly Hall. And what happened? Your family, your religion, in Rutgers basketball picked up a big road upset. So I'm not sure IU is going to make the tournament for a 6th straight season.
Okay, do you have any other bubble teams?
Sierra, this one goes out to you and your Chicago Ties. Look at the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. They are the number 4 seed in Arch Madness, not March Madness, Arch Madness, the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament in St. Louis this weekend. That championship game is on Sunday. If Loyola Chicago wants to solidify their odds, which are in minus money right now, to make the NCAA tournament, They need to win their conference tournament. Leaving it up to an at-large bid is a very risky proposition for the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee.
And how about VCU really quick?
VCU is a team out of the A-10. The A-10 has a lot to be figured out. Bubble teams like VCU, like Dayton in action this weekend against Davidson. St. Louis, the Billikens could make some noise in the conference tournament as well. The Atlantic 10 will be an interesting conference tournament to pay attention to. The plus money on the Rams right now, don't love it, but we'll see what happens next week.
As always, check your FanDuel app for the latest lines. We're back next Friday night at 10:45.